India is the most populous country. It is the world's largest democracy. Not just that, it is the world's most vibrant and dynamic democracy. We have the largest youth population anywhere in the world, and these young people are going to be the key contributors to the global economy. They are going to be nurturers of Mother Planet Earth. They are going to be key actors on the global political stage. And most of all, they are going to be key architects of human transformation. That is the importance of India, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put our hands together for this new age that we are now a part of. The journey has begun. India indeed is on fire. तो चलो नई मिसाल हो, बढ़ो नया कमाल हो, जलो नई मशाल हो, रुको नहीं, थको नहीं, बढ़े चलो. आशीष रक्त तोल दो, स्वतंत्रता का मोल दो, कड़ी युगों की खोल दो, रुको नहीं, थको नहीं, बढ़े चलो. इंडिया इज ऑन फायर. और इस सत्र के संचालन के लिए मैं मंच पे आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी सर्वाधिक सम्मानित सुप्रसिद्ध व्यापार सलाहकार, वक्ता, लेखक, someone whose expertise on the matters of global corporate strategy and leadership is respected not just across India, but by organizations across the world. We are most fortunate to have him here this morning with us at JITO Converge 2024. क्या हम सब जोरदार तालियों के साथ इनका मंच पे स्वागत करेंगे? डॉक्टर राम चरण. नमस्ते सर, गुड मॉर्निंग. बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका टू कन्वर्ज. आइए सर. थैंक यू.
नमस्ते. आप तैयार हैं? जूस ऑफ लाइफ, जिंदगी की तरक्की सीखने से होती है. ठीक है? सीखना, सिखाना, उसको काम में लगाना, ये शब्द हमको पढ़ाए गए 10 साल की उम्र में. मैं आता हूँ हापुड़ से, यूपी से. मेरे नेबर जैन थे. 2 लड़के मेरे साथ पढ़ते थे. एक मेरे साथ बीएचयू में गए, मेरे रूममेट थे. अभी हमारे हैं सेफवे के मिस्टर जैन. इनके फादर और मेरे फादर की दुकान कोई 100 यार्ड्स थी. तो मेरा मिशन है जिंदगी का कि हर लोग, हर companies double their capabilities every 3 years. हर तीसरे साल, हर चौथे साल अपनी कैपेसिटी, कैपेबिलिटी, अपनी शक्ति बढ़ाइए. आपकी कैपेबिलिटी जब हाई स्कूल थी वो इतनी थी, अब इतनी है. तो दुनिया में सबसे बड़ी क्यों नहीं हो सकती है? आपके 200 लोगों की जो ये कंपनियां हैं, नो नेशन, कोई नेशन कभी नहीं बन सका बिना जैसे आप लोगों की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से. सबकी. मैं 90s में जाता चाइना, लोग, women, men, bubbling by building the companies. Absolutely. अब जरा वो बदल गया है. तो मैं आप लोगों को कुछ पॉइंट्स देना चाहता हूँ. आप लोगों से मैं अर्ज करूँगा कि वो पॉइंट आप लिखें, घर ले जाएं और कम से कम 10 लोगों को और पढ़ाएं. तो आपकी कैपेसिटी बढ़ती है कि हम लोगों के रफली 700 लोग हैं यहाँ. अगर एक एक 10 लोगों को और पढ़ाएं सिखाएं तो हम 7,000 हो सकते हैं। ये बेसिक्स हैं, बेसिक्स हम लोग सीखते हैं और बेसिक्स को वो मास्टर करते हैं। जैसे ओलंपिक चैंपियन होते हैं, वो बेसिक के करते हैं और वो चैंपियन बड़ी प्रैक्टिस करते हैं और तब वो उनकी होती है कि मैं इसको कैसे रिकॉर्ड बनाते हैं। तो वो बेसिक्स का मैं आपको लेकर जाऊंगा, क्योंकि मैं हैव बीन बड़ा भाग्यशाली हूँ कि मुझको 20 बरस की उम्र से मुझको काम मिलता रहा। जो लोग वो थे CEOs, एंड देन मुझको बाद में मिल गई बड़े भाग्यशाली से कि ये जो बिलियनियर्स हैं बड़े बड़े, उनके साथ काम करने का। मैं उनके एग्जांपल्स दूंगा मैं आपको, लेकिन वो हैं बड़े सादा आदमी हैं, वो बेसिक्स के मास्टर हैं और वो उनके जो नए आदमी हैं वो यहाँ दिमाग से चलते हैं, करते चले जाते हैं, सब कुछ आता है। हमारी जैन कम्युनिटीज़ में व्यापारी का बड़ा दिमाग है, बड़े बिजनेस लोग हैं आप लोग, मैं भी वहीं से ही तो आता हूँ। अदर कम्युनिटीज़ वर्ल्ड में ऐसी नहीं है जैसे आप लोग यहाँ हैं। मेरी हिंदी समझ में आती है आप लोगों को? कर दें, ठीक है। तो मैं आपको देख कर जाऊंगा। तो मैंने पहली चीज़ भाई वो कर देना जरा, पहली जो 3-4 मैंने हैंड से लिख दी हैं, जरा वो दिखा दो, वो ऑन कर दो। हाँ, भारत ऑन फायर क्यों है, उसको सोचो क्यों है, और अपनी कंपनियों में थोड़ा समय लगाओ, लोगों से पूछो कि क्यों है ये, क्या हो रहा है, क्यों करता है। तो बात करने में लोगों से उनकी अक्ल बढ़ती है, उनकी पर्सपेक्टिव बढ़ती है। तो आप लोग तो जानते हैं वो क्या है। मैं आपको जस्ट 2-3 चीज़ें बताता हूँ, लेकिन फिर मैं आपको एक दूसरा टूल देना चाहता हूँ, एक टूल को कि उसको प्रैक्टिस करना। तो उनसे उस प्रैक्टिस करने से आपके लोगों की ये दिमाग बढ़ेगी। तो एक तो सबसे पहला, वी हैव ए लीडर, वी हैव ए नेता जिसने एक गोल बताया। उन्होंने बताया कि GDP ऑफ इंडिया 5 ट्रिलियन 5 ट्रिलियन की होनी चाहिए। अगर आप उसकी डॉलर रिवैल्यूएशन को अकाउंट करें तो हमारी GDP अब 5 ट्रिलियन है। डॉलर की वैल्यू आर्टिफिशियल है। जो लोग नेता होते हैं, कंपनी के हों, गवर्नमेंट के हों, वो गोल को अनाउंस करते हैं और गोल बनाने के अनाउंस करने के बाद उनके पास होते हैं, उनके दिमाग में होते हैं कि उसके पिलर्स क्या हैं, उसके बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स क्या हैं। तो आप लोग तो जानते ही हैं ये सब ज़्यादा मुझसे। आप समझते हैं कि वी हैव द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नाउ, रोड्स, एयरपोर्ट्स, टेलीकम्युनिकेशंस दैट फैसिलिटेट्स ऑल दैट। तो एक ये पिलर है। दूसरा पिलर ये है कि हम लोग यहाँ करेंसी को बड़ी अच्छी तरह से मैनेज करते हैं। अब हमारे एक्सपोर्ट है roughly 700 billion, is going to increase. We have services. What we have in India that I can say, because I'm allowed to go around the world and work in all these countries, India has the best talent and the largest talent, where the mind is mathematically oriented, arithmetically oriented. It's very huge for digitization, for AI, for simple businesses, vyapari, all that. Second, our values that we have been brought up has an element of selflessness. I come from that background and live in a material society. They're driven by a number of them by greed. We don't have that. Correct? They come with the soul of the earth. And third, We have the people who are technology oriented. India is the largest producer of talent that can create AI, etc., etc. We have great, and by the way, nobody can beat us in providing services. I keep saying we have close to 256 billion of services going out. We got to go minimum 1 trillion in services. China is not a great competitor in services. We can do that. It's being planned. Go after it. My point is very simple. What I would like you to do, which I'm going to give you a tool now, and the purpose of the tool is to expand the people's thinking about what is causing the growth of the GDP of India. हिंदी में आप लोगों को समझाओ, डायलॉग करो, बातें करो कि किस तरह क्या चीज़ हो रही है और उन चीज़ों से आपको ये पता लगे कि ये यहाँ की इनकम की तरक्की किससे है और उस तरक्की से हम लोगों को क्या क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज हो सकती हैं. Am I clear? Do that. तो टूल है वेरी सिंपल. आप अपनी मीटिंग में, जो आप लोग हफ्ते में एक मीटिंग करते होंगे, होती है ना, हफ्ते में मीटिंग करते होंगे, तो हफ्ते की एक मीटिंग में 10 मिनट लगाओ और बताओ अपने लोगों को कि आपने क्या पढ़ा, क्या सुना कहीं भी, जिससे आपको ये मालूम हो कि यहाँ हिंदुस्तान की, भारत की इनकम बढ़े, जीडीपी बढ़े, टेक्नोलॉजी बढ़े, तो लोगों को वो ये पता लगे कि क्या चीज़ बढ़ रही है. तो यहाँ कई न्यूज़पेपर हैं, ये न्यूज़पेपर बड़े अच्छे हैं यहाँ, पहले नहीं थे. इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स, इंडिया टुडे, बिजनेस टुडे, फाइनेंशियल एक्सप्रेस. just select 1 or 2 items, discuss it, ask them what does it mean, ask them इसके मायने क्या है. मायने किसी के लिए भी हो सकते हैं, आपकी कंपनी के लिए ज़रूरत नहीं है, इससे माइंड बढ़ता है. तो वो क्या होता है, समझ में आया आप लोगों के? हर हफ्ते आपकी जो मीटिंग है, 1-2 आइटम्स जो नए हैं, वो लोग पढ़ते नहीं हैं, उनको दिखाओ, सिखाओ क्या हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, उससे क्या बढ़ेगा, क्या नहीं होगा. वक्त चलते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल इसकी मैं सब वो बताऊं, तो मुझे एक दिन वहाँ ले गए, एक कंपनी है क्वालकॉम. क्वालकॉम जो है, ये आपके जितने भी ये सेल फोन है, इनमें सबका उनका वो होता है. तो मैंने देखा उन लोगों को, तो उनके जो सारे वर्ल्ड वाइड सारे संसार के जितने भी एम्प्लॉइज हैं, 30% are in India. Qualcomm is in every cell phone. 30% of their worldwide employees, संसार के सारे employees, 30% are in India. क्या मायने? वो हमारे लोगों को ट्रेन करते हैं. सब लोग वहाँ से जाएंगे और अपनी बिजनेस स्टार्ट करेंगे, और उससे हिंदुस्तान की तरक्की होगी. ये चीज़ हर रोज़ आती है क्योंकि एफडीए आते हैं. सो आपके ये बात समझ में आई कि हर हफ्ते. तो ये क्यों आया मुझे? तो मैं हाई स्कूल में, हमारे हापुड़ में गवर्नमेंट स्कूल था, तो हम लोगों को पहली चीज़ 7:30 बजे वो थी मस्टर. तो हम लोग जाते थे, प्रेयर करते थे, एंड देन तो एक मास्टर, हम लोग मास्टर बोलते थे टीचर को, तो वो 6-7 मिनट की स्पीच देते थे और खबर देते थे. भाई बच्चे थे, कुछ समझ में आया नहीं आया, लेकिन वो भूल नहीं गए। आप जो है अपने स्टाफ को बताओ कि क्या चीज़ नई है, तो उनका पर्सपेक्टिव बढ़ता है। अब मैं जाता हूँ पॉइंट नंबर 2। आप जो है अपना लेंस बढ़ाओ, ऊंचा करो। आप देख सकते हैं ना, आप देख सकते हैं पीछे उसको। ये मेरा हैंड स्केच है। बाय द वे, मैं पावर पॉइंट यूज़ नहीं करता हूँ। मैं जब बिल गेट्स से मिलता हूँ, पावर पॉइंट मैं नहीं करता हूँ। मुझे तो पुराना वे समझने का आता है। जब हम लोग 8, 9, 10 साल में पढ़ते थे तो हम तो ज़मीन पे बैठते थे। आपको याद है तख्ती होती थी, लिखते थे। जो टीचर आए वो बैठे चेयर में, हम बैठे हैं, अब वो सब सीखा। हम लोग एक घर में हैं, 4 लड़के हैं, एक संदूक है, तो दिए से पढ़ते थे। हमारी आंखें ख़राब नहीं हुई। ना प्लम्बिंग है, ना वाटर है, ना इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है। अब 48 डिग्रीज में रहते थे संदूक में। मेरा मेहनत है कहने का कि ज्ञान लेने की इतनी ड्राइव थी और कोई चीज़ का कोई कहना नहीं था। तो आप लोग उसको देखिए ज़रा, बिग पिक्चर। बिग पिक्चर देखना ज़रूर है हम लोगों को। हम लोगों की बिजनेस छोटी हो सकती है, लेकिन इंस्पिरेशन का आता है जब आप बड़ी पिक्चर देखते हैं। तब देखिए ही से, when आप उनको देखें तो इसमें जो ग्रोथ है वो इंडिया की सबसे ज़्यादा है। देन वियतनाम, मैक्सिको, चाइना की नहीं है, अमेरिका की थोड़ी है, वो उसमें भी गड़बड़ है थोड़ा। तो अब इसमें आपको देखना चाहता हूँ कि नेगेटिव्स। तो पहला नेगेटिव है कि इस दुनिया में 6 लोग, 6 ह्यूमन बींग्स, 6 लोग दुनिया के ऑर्डर को चलाते हैं। लेट मी से इट अगेन, 6 ह्यूमन बींग्स, 6 लोग, ये दुनिया का, संसार का डिसऑर्डर करते हैं। सबसे पहला, Putin of Russia, Ukraine war, created the disorder of flow of oil, flow of raw materials, flow of food, effect on costs. Make sense? दूसरा, China, President Xi. Xi and Putin together, changing price availability. Clear? तीसरा, सऊदी अरेबिया, उसके क्राउन प्रिंस MBS, वो और रशिया together controlling the pricing and flow of oil. Energy, no country can grow without energy. Iran, Ayatollah, driving all those. Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell, impacting the monetary policy and the exchange rates. And President Biden acting in it. So all these skirmishes you see, they are affecting the trade, the flow, energy, materials, food, and their currency up and down, up and down. Risks are increasing. It is in this context we work. Clear? What I want you to do, if you're not doing it, I would like you to read one particular magazine, and that is The Economist. Read Economist with one question: what is new? Discuss with your people. Yes, it comes in English, but you translate in Hindi. Open the mind. Because if you're importing from China, or in your whole supply chain, somebody is importing, you have to worry about it. How many of you in some way depend on China? Yeah, take it to heart. When the question answer, I open up more. Ask me all questions about China. I still serve on a board of a Chinese company. Chinese people come to see me here or Singapore. I don't go to China. I've advised all of my CEOs not to go to China. Safety. And people don't understand that. I said, no, companies are moving out of China. You're going to invest in China. Just remember one rule. You are going to be there only up to the time when CCP says your game is over. You will be forced to sell things at dirt cheap prices, and you will be lucky to get the money out. These are facts. I didn't make it up. I have companies I'm working with. And I'm saying, yeah, they don't want to go public. There are some beginning to come out in the public part right now. It's not just America. Watch India. Mr. Modi is ahead of Americans. He's putting the bans. He's putting controls. And if a Chinese company wants to take a control, you got to get the approval by the Home Minister. Personally. How many of you in pharmaceutical industry? Watch that very carefully. That's going to be controlled. It's going to happen. So you go alternative ways. So I have one pharmaceutical company, यहीं चेन्नई में है और कहीं पे, तो उन लोगों ने जो API लेते हैं, वो 90% से 10% हो गया. तो my purpose क्या है? Learn the big picture. I gave you a negative one. I have a different one. I want you, आप लोग travel करिए और देखो टेक्नोलॉजी कहाँ है. Technology visits MIT, companies, go and visit, learn how to do what is new coming in for your field. So here I want to give you an example. How many of you known about a company called Marico? Okay, great company. So I've been with him 30 years. Harsh Mariwala. And I wrote a book with him, Harsh Realities. So I've known his early days. मैंने जानते हैं उनके early days. तो वो उनकी commodity company थी. तो उनके father ने उनको MBA करने के लिए मना कर दिया. तो वो अपने cousin के साथ न्यू जर्सी गए, तो उनकी आंखें खुली कि ये बड़े स्टोर कैसे हैं, डिपार्टमेंट स्टोर कैसे हैं, डिस्काउंट स्टोर कैसे हैं. आंखें खुली. That's the item. आंखें खुली. वो आते हैं यहाँ, तो वो कमोडिटी बिजनेस को कंज्यूमर स्पेशलिटी बिजनेस बनाते हैं. तो वो क्या करते थे, वो अपनी कार लेके जाते, लोगों को देखते थे, रिटेलर्स को देखते थे अपने हम साथ में, उससे उनकी अक्ल बढ़ी, क्या हुआ क्या नहीं हुआ, कुछ भी हुआ, फिर जाएंगे बाहर जाएं देखें, समझ में आया। ट्रैवल करो, आप लोग अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं, जा सकते हैं, ग्रुप में जा सकते हैं। तो उधर I'm lucky enough to work with Mr. Radani. He's going to be talking to you. And here I watch him. When I began to study him, he was 11 years of age, and they took him to some place, ports. He hasn't, इन्होंने कभी नहीं देखा इतना बड़ा स्कोप, आंखें खुल गई और अंदर से आग लग गई कि मैं क्यों नहीं बड़ा बना सकता। 11 साल की, 18 साल के, उन्होंने एक जापानीज को डायमंड बेचा, उसमें बड़ी अक्ल आती हैं, कितने किस किस्म के डायमंड, क्या प्राइस, रिस्क क्या है, और उसकी सेल बना, कितना कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ा। 20 years of age, 25 years of age, उनको इंपोर्ट करना था सब, तो इंपोर्ट करने में उनके कोई डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर थे, तो गौतम भाई ने कहा हम तो वहाँ जाएं कोरिया में जो ओरिजिनल भेजने वाले हैं। 25 साल की उम्र उस ज़माने में, आपको फॉरेन एक्सचेंज चाहिए जाने के लिए, समझ में आया ना। और वहाँ जाए, वो कहते हैं गए वहाँ, उन्होंने वहीं से शुरू किया, उनकी कॉस्ट निकल गई, थोड़ी हो गई, एक्सपीरियंस बढ़ गया। मेरा पॉइंट है ट्रैवल, अपने लोगों को भेजो, देखो क्या है, अक्ल बढ़ती है, पर्सपेक्टिव बढ़ता है, भेजो उन्हें, देखो दिखाओ। बड़े लोग जाते हैं, ये इनको अरेंज करते हैं, मैं ले जाता हूँ इन लोगों को और दिखाता हूँ, उनका तो इजी एक्सेस है। आप घबराइए नहीं, आप ग्रुप्स में जाइए and say we do that. Am I clear on that point? समझ में आया बात? Do that. Read The Economist, send your people, come back, what you're bringing, what you're saying, and you will be going there. Now, I have one more item to mention to you. Our foreign direct investment is not really coming out to the extent we are talking about. We have promises, it's not coming in. So what I'd like you to do, first, आप लोग इस दिमाग से निकाल दीजिए कि हम छोटे बिजनेस हैं, निकाल दो अपने काम से, एकदम दिमाग से निकाल दो। आप ये कहिए कि हम गुड बिजनेस पीपल हैं, हम बिजनेस पीपल हैं। हम क्यों बिजनेस पीपल हैं? बिकॉज वी डू दीज थिंग्स। एंड देन pharmaceutical people, as an example, in the Jain group get together and then say, हम लोग किस कंपनी को जाएं हिंदुस्तान से बाहर जिनसे हम लाइसेंस या जॉइंट वेंचर और इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहते हैं। Am I clear in the हिंदी? समझ गए आप लोग ना? तो मैंने कहा कि आप 4 लोग हैं फार्मास्यूटिकल्स के, मना दिए मैंने, 4 बना दिए मैंने आपको। तो कहें कि मैं तो जो है 4 लोग जाएंगे और हमको फार्मास्यूटिकल की इंडस्ट्री को या तो ड्रग का लाइसेंस लेना है या ट्रायल करनी है या सम काइंड ऑफ जॉइंट वेंचर करना है। तो हम लोग उनको टारगेट करेंगे कि वो जाएं, फाइज़र को जाएं या रोश को जाएं या एमजन को जाएं, प्रिपेयर करके जाएं। अगर हो सके तो एक गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय को ले जाए अपने साथ, अगर हो सके। तब उनसे जाके कहिए कि हमको ये चाहिए. Now, I come to the point. वहाँ जब जाएं उनसे मिलें, उनसे पहले ये पूछो कि उनका पेन पॉइंट क्या है. समझ गए? उनका पेन पॉइंट क्या है, उनकी इच्छा क्या है, उनके दिमाग में क्या है हिंदुस्तान का. तब ये कहो कि हमको ये चाहिए, उसका उनके साथ संबंध करो. तो भाई मैं 85 हूँ, as you know. So I had gone to Harvard Business School at the age of 24 and a half. And I began to teach at 27. So you get to see people go there. So I see JRD Tata is there, coming in. Now, obviously, I'm very young. I don't know Mr. Tata or the Mr. Birla, or in those days there was a company called DCM, Bharatrams, Charatrams. And when you meet these people, they're very polite people, but they're big guys in their own days. So they went to these companies and sold India to them. Am I clear? They sold India to them. They asked them what they need to work with them. And in those days, we had the worst bureaucracy, did we not? License Raj, didn't we not? And they got it. Here, we have a bit more relaxation for that. At least the government is listening in some ways. So I say, in your group, consider creating small groups by industry and set which companies you want to go to. If you have trouble getting to that, get to the ambassador, attaché. They will do that. And there are other entities in Delhi that they will do that. If not, just knock on the door and say, we're going to get, for my industry, this technology, this license, exporting more to them. Do that. Am I clear on this point? Can it be done? We cannot, should not depend for the government to do it. We got to do it. They can help. Now, when I say government, मैं कहता हूँ कि वो दिल्ली ही नहीं, state governments. They are interested. It's jobs. Who provides the most jobs? You provide the most jobs, not the large companies. Jobs. So you target. So here, I want to give you 5 points. Please take those down and see where your companies are. I don't know where your company is, but I do know these 5 points. They're very common because I do work with the small companies just to learn. I have companies as small as $4 million a year. And I have one that has a market value of 200 billion. So you learn a lot because the small companies don't have resources. That's where the major problem is. So first thing I want you to note down, for your growing up, scaling up, the need for cash. If you're going to grow, which you should, you've got to plot what cash is going to need. Where is it going to come from? You can be very risky. You can be very conservative. So when you see this, exponential growth. Almost all small businesses, medium-sized businesses, can experience exponential growth because we are on 7 to 8% GDP growth. Your growth is going to be larger than the GDP growth. हो गया? समझ में आ गया? You plot this for 5 years. Then I'm going to take you 20 years in a minute. That's how Kumar Birla thinks, Gautam Adani thinks, Mukesh Ambani thinks, Sunil Mittal thinks. And there are people like you, they were nobody in the early days because Dhirubhai Ambani was, again, a very small base to start with. So here, first thing about your next 5 years or next 6 years, because Mr. Modi is in 2030 thinking about it. He's going to be, in my mind, definitely going to be here, at least for the 2030, 5 years, all that stuff. So in 5 years, should I grow exponentially 20%, 25%, 30%? You only need a range in your mind. And then you say, what will be your cash needs? What's a good way for cash needs? Where are you going to take the risk? So I met somebody this morning, Mr. Jain. He happens to be from my town. It so happens I happen to know his father. Isn't that wonderful to see that? It's only 100 yards from my place. And here he has a business in which no debt is growing. He found the right way to do that. So you plan the cash needs first. Because most of the people who grow exponentially and they do go so fast and they borrow money at 15, 16, even 20%. And when the economy changes, it really hurts. So DCM got hurt on this company gun, very difficult. Toppers got hurt. So that's item number one. Am I clear? Do the cash flow. Where's it going to come from? Number two. Because the last item is the most important, but I'm holding it. Number two. Most of the companies I have seen, not many of them, आपकी सेल्स फोर्स कैसी है? आप उसको सेल्स फोर्स पे फोकस करिए. Sales force, when I look at the companies here in India, there is a real problem. We don't have, हम लोगों के पास competent sales force नहीं है. आपको ट्रेनिंग करानी चाहिए. उनको निकालना चाहिए उनकी जिसकी DNA है selling की. You have to have a constant training for them. You can build it. So I see this, that to scale up, you're going to have sales force. Please note the phrase, help me out in Hindi. Continuous training of the sales force. आप लोग समझते हैं ना? Continuous. लगातार training, sales force. Yeah, sales force. या क्यों बताता हूँ मैं? जो अमेरिकन, जापानीज जो यहाँ आना चाहते हैं, वो लोग चाहते हैं कि भाई आप लोगों से जॉइंट वेंचर करें, वो आपको प्रोडक्ट देंगे, टेक्नोलॉजी देंगे, लेकिन वो उनको आपकी सेल्स फोर्स चाहिए, है ना? वो सेल्स फोर्स आपका टिकट है नेगोशिएटिंग का, है ना? तो आप अपनी सेल्स फोर्स सबसे बढ़िया बनाइए, उसको ट्रेनिंग करिए, उसको इन्वेस्टमेंट करिए, और जो लोग सेल्स फोर्स के काबिल नहीं हैं उनको सेल्स फोर्स में क्यों करते हैं, है ना? तो second point is the sales force. This is a big ticket because I am dealing with right now with a big pharmaceutical company, what they want. And the ticket is, you have a sales force, be coming. Do that. Or if you're a technology company, आपके पास technology talent है, can you recruit? Can you retain? Can you train? Qualcomm, 15,000 Indian people in India. 1,500 research centers in India and increasing. You too can do that. It fits your strategy. Because technology is the differentiator for the future. Our people are very adept at that. Figure this out. Go with that. So cash was one. Second is Salesforce. Third is marketing. We are not trained to do marketing. So I'm going to take you through what marketing means. There are basics. No fancy stuff. Marketing are two items. Simple ones, then I'm going to give you a tool. In marketing, you've got to map where is the gap you're going to fill. Customer gap, channel facts, whatever that is, figure that out. And we're going to have lots of gaps as the economy moves forward. It's going to be segmented, more gaps going to come, and you say, which one I want to go after? Now here is a dilemma. The dilemma is, this question is asked from me all the time. मैं क्या diversify करूं, portfolio करूं, या एक business में रहूं? ये dilemma आता है. तो जितने भी ये बड़े लोग हैं, बिरलास, अंबानीज, अदानीज, Sunil Mittal, he was in diversified businesses. Because that's the way India came. Here, we must have, हम लोगों के पास होना चाहिए कि critical mass in your base business. Critical mass in your base business. अगर आपकी base business attack हो गई, तो diversification नहीं होगा. वो चलना ज़रूरी है. तो इसे, so the tool is, I think some of you doing it. आप लोग 3-4, ज़्यादा नहीं, data analytics, students from universities, community centers, recruit them. Then I'll give you a real example. Let me repeat. Students, engineering, but computer science. And there are plenty of community colleges in rural areas. You never heard the names. I never heard the names. I want you to go to those places you have never heard the names, so to speak. And see these students, 3-4 of them, that they know how to extract information from zillion data sources. They will draw the map for you where the opportunities are coming. So, as I mentioned that I work with the Adani Group, I'm on the floor, and I work for a man who reports directly to Mr. Adani. I walk in and see about 10 students. They're not students, they're employees, all under the age of 25. All. One which is 35, very experienced. And so first job they did, they developed a platform themselves to be able to monitor the wind turbines. And when it is failing, automatically people go and do that. 6 people developed that over a 1-year period. Now they're doing more of that. So you're not going to need some big companies unless you have a big assignment. Recruit these people, they will learn your business, they know how to do it, and they want to work with you. They are humble at that point. Let them then do the market mapping, where the market is changing, demographic is changing, which part of the 2nd tier, 3rd tier, 4th tier, where the demographics things is moving, they will do that. Am I clear on this? Clear? So I gave you cash, Salesforce, marketing. The next one is talent. Talent. So I need to take you through that. The first part, if you're going to grow at 25% per annum, I made the number up, you're doubling in 3 years. And in 6 years, you're quadrupling. So I say, forget the word 25%. You say, my sales today is 300 million. In 6 years, you're talking $1 billion. By definition. Now you say, what will be the talent needed to run this company in 2030? So I have a company in America. It's called General Atlantic. They have 125 companies, private equity. There's an Indian gentleman who is in charge of talent, just talent. And so they buy this company, and their sales are 100 million. And they have a 5-year contract with the talent. So in 5 years, this 100 million is going to be 300 million. So they're going to recruit talent that has done business at $500 million level. Did I come out clearly? वो लोग उस टैलेंट को देखते हैं, रिक्रूट करते हैं कि अगर ये $100 million sales is going to go to 300 million in 4 to 5 years, तो वो बाहर से रिक्रूट करते हैं जो पहले ही $500 million की बिजनेस रन कर सकते हैं. उनको आता है वो कैसा. तो आपको टैलेंट लगानी है. Now, इसमें है डिलेमा. And the dilemma है कि मेरे ये लॉयल पीपल हैं, क्या करें इनका. अगर वो बढ़ सकते हैं तो ठीक है, नहीं बढ़ सकते तो आपको ये डिलेमा रिजॉल्व करना पड़ेगा. तो वो टैलेंट का आपको लगाना पड़ेगा. So last item is digitization. आपका डिजिटाइजेशन कैसा है? डिजिटाइजेशन अब वो ऑप्शनल नहीं है. अगर आप वो 3-4 लोग बच्चे लाते हैं, वो सीखते हैं, तो वो कर देंगे डिजिटाइजेशन आपको. ऐसा होता है. और जैसे मेरे फ्रेंड जैन साहब हैं, उन्होंने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया, कर दिया उनको. लेकिन अगर जल्दी आप कर लें तो आपकी स्पीड बढ़ जाएगी. 5 आइटम ऑफ स्केलिंग अप, वो बड़े हो जाएंगे स्केल के, आप बड़े हो जाएंगे स्केल के. Go after that. Build the basics first. Am I clear on the part of the scaling? Everybody okay? Yes. Basics. Now my people told me to take some break. Am I supposed to take a break here? Can I continue? Let me continue, okay? Now I come to a more difficult problem. And that is the succession That means that you have nobody in the family and you need a successor from professional ranks. Clear? And there is a high percentage of failures. Why? So I'm going to give you some tools to think about it, because I see it, I do it. All of you heard of Walmart? His succession failed twice. He had to fire 2 consecutive CEOs. And they were all internal, by the way. So you say, what the devil going on there? I'm sure you know some companies in India now where the succession has been a problem. Have you not? Without me naming them, you know that. So I'm going to go to the area where you need a professional person to be the CEO. I just did that one in Thailand, where we have the professional people taking over. So please take down these 3 items to look into. If all the 3 are not met, it's not going to be a good idea. The first one, and the most important, does this person have a natural talent of making money? I did not say a strategy. All of you here know how to make money. It's in your bones. It's a skill. It's born in many of us. You got to test. Do they really know how to make money? Give me Mr. Adani's example. It's in the book, so I'm not violating. They have a big port called Mundra. Contractors came to do something. It's a big job. In this job, they're saying, we start here. Mr. Adani supposedly said, you start here. Why? The revenue I generate will fund part of the development on this side. That's money making. We're talking those things. And I assure you, teaching at Harvard, Wharton, France, we don't teach that. Common sense of money making is very uncommon. And that's why professionals fail. They come with a strategy. They've never run a full profit or loss. They don't understand. Can you see my fingers? The feel? They don't have it. You've got to test it. You've got to give them assignments. You've got to give them exercises. Say how you make money here. And no fancy words. Because you will never get along if you didn't know how you make money. Never get along. And the people they will inherit will not get along. Everybody clear? Test it. So when I do testing of people to recruit, I do that for Mr. Adani's people. That's the first thing I test. Because it will never work out there if you don't know how you make money doing that. And in doing that, you put that as a criteria. Number 2 is that the person is going to have the humility to seek your inputs in the job. Because you know the business, you know the people. You do that. Many of them have such a high ego, they don't want you to do anything. No, not here. They're going to seek your input, debate with you if you disagree, and do that. The number 3 reason, they want to build their own staff. That staff is not a line staff. It's a staff, analytic staff, because they don't know the whole business. So you got to test, can they know the whole business? And then in one company, what we did is to have this new person to take a month or two to know the company, to know the business, before we put the yoke on his shoulder. And that 2 months will tell you, because you're going to be talking to the person every week, what did you see? What did you see? What did you see? Pull that part out. But the most important part, I have a bias on it. I want to tell you my bias. I asked them, what did they do in high school? What did they do at the 12th grade? What did you do when you went to school? Can I see some inkling they did something about money making? If it is 0, I've got to test harder. Because it's one thing, partly. So that's the first part you test. The second part, does this person know how to motivate people reporting to them in a legitimate way, not extra money? Some do, some don't. And therefore, you've got to test that out. Because they can't come and not motivate people. You suppress the energy. Figure that part out. Break them in, figure that out, go at it. The third part, now don't be surprised when I tell you this. Many of them are not customer oriented. They can make plans, PowerPoints, brilliant, but they are not customer touch, customer oriented. You built the business by being customer oriented. That's in your bones to do that. Test those things. And don't feel that I'm tired, I can't find the right guy. Don't do that. Wrong person is the wrong person. But first, before you go outside, you got to look inside. Some younger people, train them, rotate them, open their minds to those things, and test them to expand their capacity to do that. And that's what I would look for if I were doing that. Make sense to the group here? Okay? So that was the professional side. Now I come on the family side. You have 2 children, 3 children, so on. Now, we have lots of stories of the past. We have a company called Mars Chocolate, the family together. We have some company in Helsinki, 400 years old family. They make scissors. Yeah, they are examples. We got to come to terms that no 2 human beings are the same. No 2 children are the same. We got to come to the terms. And given the new area of learning through visual, audio, pictures, coding, it's a different build of our brain cognition. They aspire to different things. So the first thing I want you to do, get an assessment or have your advisory people to assess them. This is the important point. What is this person's natural talent? Examples. Tendulkar. In betting, everybody tells me is natural. He practiced, became great, but it's natural. He's a lousy captain. That's what they tell me. Now, in my days, Lata Mangeshkar, talent. Then I began to examine the people who were writing lyrics of these old Indian movies. 5, 6 people control the market. What a gift. We don't have that anymore here. talent, what they are. Similarly, in business, you want to see an individual's God's gift. What is that God's gift? Get that assessment. I'll give you some examples of this. And he said, I think we know. And I'll give you methodology for that. It's easy for me to ask you, sir, what is your talent? You'll be happy to tell me. I can ask you, when he's working with you, what do you think is real talent? What he excels? You'll be so happy to tell me. And vice versa. And then I can verify with the third person. He said, don't tell me the negatives. Just tell me what he does well, what he loves, what's his real talent. He'll be happy to tell me. And you drill until you get it. I can verify that. Everybody got it? Each of you do the same thing for yourself with your colleagues. You say, no negatives. Just tell me what this person loves, what's his natural born God's gift. It's specific, observable, and verifiable. Clear? And we can verify that. Look for that first in your children. And you will very quickly see this one wants to be this way. He wants to be a teacher. This one loves business. This one loves working with the government. You will see that very quickly. Stop talking negatives of their children. Do not compare your children. Clear? Avoid that. Talk to your wife. No, we don't do that. We want to know what is this person's God's gift. We can articulate what that is. So one of the God's gift Mr. Adani has, and I can give you a number of examples. He is able to see something and see, will there be a demand for this 20 years out? Let me repeat. He's able to see something and say, will there be a demand for this for 20 years? Demand. But demand को क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में? Demand है ना? समझ में आए demand? भाई तो common word है ना? ज़रूरत. ज़रूरत. हाँ, ज़रूरत है. 20 साल में इसकी ज़रूरत होगी, नहीं होगी, बड़ी होगी, कम होगी, डिक्लाइन होगी, इंक्लाइन होगी. मगर इस वक्त और लोग नहीं देखते हैं ये, है ना? तो उनका पहला था पोर्ट्स. वो देखा उन्होंने, उनको ये आया कि भाई इसकी तो बड़ी ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. तो उन्होंने उसको बनाया. अब लोग आप जानते ही हैं कि इसकी क्या है. अब उनके 13-14 हैं और बढ़ रहे हैं. बड़ा तजुर्बा है. उसका ग्रोस मार्जिन क्या है? आप लोग समझते हैं ना ग्रोस मार्जिन. मैं जब जूते की दुकान पे था तो हमारा 6.25%. मैं डिब्बे पे लिखता था उनके प्राइसेस. तो थोड़ा आप उसको स्पेकुलेट करिए कि उनका ग्रोस मार्जिन क्या है. 75% प्लस. 75% प्लस, जिसे हम लोग इसको कहते हैं मनी मेकिंग. तभी तो उनकी इतनी ज्यादा मार्केट वैल्यू है. और दुनिया में अगर आपकी जीडीपी बढ़ेगी तो पोर्ट्स की जरूरत होगी नहीं होगी? Give you second one. Shantigram. Shanti, last name it has to be Adani, is his father's name. So the story there is, it was a swamp, and the government guy will not sell the land. So he charters a plane, showed to the guy, nobody's going to buy it. He buys it, and look at the whole Shantigram. It's huge. So looking those needs 20 years out, look at the demographics. Say, what will be in 20 years the need? So simple things. Second-tier cities, third-tier cities. Can we imagine in 10 years, they will be consuming certain things about the same rate as Mumbai, Bangalore? That's enormous. Correct? So look at this part of scaling up and go at it. And then we say, internal part, which child is really having the God's gift that fits the business need? Don't pressure that. There are plenty of examples in India where this has been a big mismatch, and they forced it. Am I clear on this? Can you do that? See, what is person's God's gift in doing that? Stay with that. Some people are good at this, good at this, good at this. It's natural for them. Now come the last part, then I'll open the questions, answers, and everything. Is the the parents in most places I've seen, including China, they want to keep the family intact. And children's normally either succumb to it or stay with it. And then after third or fourth generation, it splits apart. Fair? Fair. There are few families that are together, but most people don't know what is going on inside. I've been privy to some, what that is. So if you read the book, Harsh Reality, about Harsh Mariwala in Mariko, he tells graphically what happened. The parents wanted the whole family together, and everybody is under difficult pressure. And then Harsh and his cousins take the lead, and they confront the senior person, and then they find a way to divide it. My view is, be very honest as your parents. You as parents. Would they really want to stick together? And then when they get married, would the wives want to stay together? When the children come, will they want to stay together? Why I say that? Because I see this in Brazil. The children will go along with you. But when they are freedom, then they know what happens. That's what you got to watch. So the idea I'm coming down the pike, if they want to split, do it in front of you. Let me repeat. If they want to split, do in front of you. You can help. Clean it up. Let them be freedom, which way they go. That's where I come out of the succession. On the people side of it, you're going to get some more on the trust and compensation, things of that kind. I don't deal with that. Am I clear on those things? So first one, double your capacity. Go outside, see it. Pick up some people, go and see, target your possible joint ventures, licenses, technologies. Build your capability for scaling up. Digitization is absolutely necessary. You don't have to have the large company unless you have a bigger game. You get these 3-4 guys, because I have hard evidence these younger 25-year-old kids are doing big projects. And that's in a company that can afford a big stuff. But I see what they're doing it. So you go on that basis. And then the whole thing about Salesforce and so on, do that part of it. So let's take a break now, and I'm going to open all questions, because the thing is for me to serve your questions to go after. Okay? Let's do that. Now we take your questions. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Thank you, Ram sir. It was much, much more than what we have heard about you. So my question is, from one of the references said that while selecting people and this thing, we should judge and have a feel whether they can make money. So we do have our fields, but your process is all converting the fields into a scientific process. So could you tell us 3 exercises which actually we could conduct? Thank you, sir.
I will do that. This is the most important requirement in selecting a CEO and their direct reports. Now, I'm going to take you through 3 items. The probability is 100%. Most of you are doing it. So it should be a refresher for you and confirming to you what you're doing. That's the spirit here. And then it has become very sophisticated, but go to those basics, okay? In 1967, the dean of the Harvard Business School called me up, and he says, I want you to go Managua, Nicaragua. How many of you heard of Managua, Nicaragua? It's in the Central America. And there Harvard had established a school, Harvard-type copy. They spent Cordobas, 8 Cordobas to the dollar, and so it's a Harvard style. They got Harvard cases. They prepare, and people like me go there and teach. They have simultaneous interpretation. I go in there with the image of a Harvard professor coming in. You know what that means. And these people working very hard. They study the cases. They obviously want to please me. I finished the class, superb interpreters. At the end of the class, a priest from the class came, and he's saying nice things. And he's saying, Professor, how do you like the class? आपने क्लास कैसे पसंद की? तो मैंने कहा, भाई इन लोगों को कोई भी नौकरी नहीं मिलेगी. हाँ, ऐसे ये लोग 8 करोड़ को डॉलर को देते हैं, इतना पैसा खर्च करते हैं, और इन लोगों को इतनी मेहनत करते हैं, बड़ा अच्छा केस एनालिसिस किया, लेकिन इनको नौकरी नहीं मिलेगी. तो फादर इज अ प्रीस्ट, वो उसको शेकन हो गया कि आप क्या कहते हैं. तो मैंने कहा, इनको तो अक्ल नहीं है, कैसे पैसा बनाते हैं. भाई जो हिंदी में कहते हैं अक्ल नहीं है, वो इंग्लिश में नहीं आती है. बिल्कुल ट्री है. तो मुझे तो इंग्लिश में कहना है ना वहाँ. तो मेरे स्पेनिश ट्रांसलेटर से, तो उन्होंने स्पेनिश में किया उनको. तो मैंने, भाई इनको अक्ल नहीं है. तो वो कहते वो क्या करें. तो मैंने कहा कि वे डीन के पास जाएं, प्रिंसिपल के पास, अर्नेस्टो क्रूज, और वो जहाँ यहाँ बाज़ार है, वहाँ हमको एक बस और ये 18 लड़के 2 इंटरप्रेटर्स जाएं मेरे साथ. वो उन्होंने मुझे बस दे दी, वे गए. तो वहाँ मसाया है 20 किलोमीटर्स में, एंड वो हम लोग गए. और तो वो 2 इंटरप्रेटर्स थे, वो इंटरप्रेट करते कंटिन्यूसली. तो वो बाज़ार है ऐसा, कोई मे बी 3 गुना 5 गुना. और वो थोड़ा किराना मर्चेंट समझते हैं ना आप, किराना मर्चेंट, छोटी छोटी दुकानें, और लास्टली वो वीमेन करती हैं वहाँ, उनके पास लोग नहीं थे, तो मैं पहली पे गया। तो एक लड़के ने पूछा कि सिन्योरा, दैट्स अ लेडी, आपको उधार कहाँ से मिलता है? तो वो कहती है कि दिस माफिया टाइप से मिलता है। तो आपका इंटरेस्ट रेट क्या है? तो वो बोलती है इन स्पेनिश 2% per month. So my brilliant student says, Professor, 24% per annum, 24%. So this lady now knows I am the professor, because they call me professor. I'm the power fixture. And she speaks in Spanish to my interpreter, and she says in Spanish, Señor es falta. It literally means he's wrong. They all heard Spanish. I'm the one who doesn't know Spanish. And you can see their faces. This punk lady who's nobody, my father is the chairman of a bank, and she's saying this MBA student is wrong. They're all looking at me. Why? My brilliant student is wrong. And he is wrong. आप लोग तो जानते हैं, वो तो कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट से होता है. Everybody समझ गए? So I see in the billboard, you will pay 1% per month. It has to be compounded. It's not 12% per annum. You start there first to judge somebody gets it or not. They don't understand it, they will never make it. They didn't learn it, can they learn? So anyway, my second student asked, says, Senora, so how do you make money? Because I've trained in the class. So she says, I go to the bazaar and I buy these things in the morning. I buy something for 9 Cordoba and sell it for 10. So one of my students speaks and he says, so Senora, your margin is 11%. And she says again to my interpreters, Senora es falta. Now you have really, she has served notice on my MBA students. Let me say it again. I buy for 9 Cordoba, sell for 10. And my student interrupts and say, Marhen, 11% hai, 11%. She said, no, it's not 11. It's 10%. It's calculated the other way. And it's universal in the world, by the way. Every industry, every country, every city, every Kirana merchant knows it is 10%. There were no videos, no books when this all got across the globe. This all came from the trade. Now my students are really flustered whose side I'm taking. I'm saying, yeah, Senora is right. So then my student says, but how do you make money? I say, I buy for 9, sell for 10. DSI percentile. And I must earn 35%. 35. So he says, how do you do that? So she goes like this. What is it? We call turnover. Some call velocity. I want you to master the word velocity. Velocity of capital. Now put the formula, because I was taught at the age of 10, when these people come in Khanao, white robes, and they round up the kids of the trade people, shops people, and they teach that under the name Vyavahar Ganit. There was something called taught in the Hindu culture, Vyavahar Ganit. And these people came for Dakshina, did their job, we went out. So I want you to take this, and then I'll give you a second part, and then we can test anybody. Could you put that on? This is my address. Send any emails, anything you want. Okay? So I don't have to give you cards because I run out of cards. Return is margin multiplied by velocity. We invented this, not Western civilizations. So most of the people are focused on margin or profit. They're not focused on velocity. So I'm going to take you through that. Let me take you through. Again, digitization will help you get higher velocity. And is this something of interest to you to take? I take you through this. So I want you to ask questions, because if I do this thoroughly for you, it could be helpful to you. Because you're going to train your people who are going to do that for you. So let me explain that. And I'll take any business. So you give me some business examples. Because this is universal formula for every single business. So you all understand margin. I've got to explain velocity. Everybody got it? In my shoe shop, my brothers will go at night, go to Agra and bring shoes 2 days later, and then go every 2 weeks. So we were able to buy few investment, and we turn it. Everybody got it? We had no money. So what do? You go at night, go to Agra, pick them up, sell it. We did not know that that was also a good thing, because your shoes are fresh. We didn't know that. Fresh matters. And we didn't know that we were a little smarter, because we know in the last 4 times, some shoes will not sell. But we did. In my days, only the Muslims had shoe shops in Hapur. And my father and uncle decided to put a Hindu shop. And my brothers returned the capital within 1 year. Think about the word. In those days, nobody ever said, the children will return the capital to the parents. They returned the capital within 1 year. Within 1 year. It's, well, no, we all knew that. I knew a capital was returned to my father and uncle within 1 year. That was the atmosphere there, part of it. So now, first, all retail shops have margin, and their money is in the inventory. Everybody got it? Now, I'm going to mention to you, and do not be shocked. How many of you heard of Dell, D-E-L-L? All of you. He found a way to put digitization that velocity reached 105. Most are 3.2, 3.5, 3.6. He's got 105. More he sold, more cash he generated. But was done through digitization. Now, you have a cash. my dear Mr. friend Jain Saab, he has a transportation business. He delivers to B2B. He does not own trucks. So no investment. His investment is in depots where the people are. So his revenue comes in, there's a margin, but his investment is close to zero. So he has a very good return. He has no debt, he generates cash. Correct? And so he has his business model that way. So let me just be sure you put this equation for you. These two are business concepts. They are not high school equations. Both circles are business concepts. Margin, percentage, revenue or investment. Investment may be inventory. It may be big warehouse. So in the case of Adani Ports, their investment is in the ports. They need high margin. So I have companies where the margin is very thin. 3%. Zero investment. And they generate cash. Everybody got that? Do it honestly in your business. What I want you to do is no matter what your margin is, also focus on velocity. Find ways to do that. And I'll give you a diagram in a minute to go and practice it. So that's the first part. And every single shareholder value work has to go down to do this. Make it complicated, new convention, new way to do accounting, new way to do the chart accounting. All that became very complicated. All this which you guys do always managing for cash, not accounting profit. Let me repeat again. Manage for cash, not accounting profit. Accounting from profit is a number. Cash is cash. It's highly manipulated. It's got done for different reasons. When I was here in the 1970s, nobody knew about. They all managed by cash. What's their cash profit? How it went down? What came out? Which way it is? So then you look at the part of your cash, how much cash you're generating, and how you're using that cash. So I have to teach the biggest guys now. I have to teach the biggest guys this little thing. They don't know it. They know accounting. They don't know how to do this. Now, you look at your business, Just 4 items. There are more. And you say, to increase my business, double, triple. What could be the ideas? Do I have some new products? Do I get more of the wallet of the customer? Do I have a different pricing? Do I sell online? Got the hang of it? Collect the ideas, but be specific. We're going to sort out what combination works. Get your team together. Because numbers will come from what you choose to do or ignore to do. This is just a very superficial list. There's a big list how you do that. So you see what is right for your business, but don't just do these 4. There are many more. And that's what these big guys do in the head. They get over time. Same thing about margin. Does my brand give me a better margin? Does a new product or consumer convenience So how many of you or your families shop at Amazon here? Flipkart. So I've examined Amazon in America for a long time. His gross margin is 40%. Walmart is 26. How come? It's not 1 year. And hard cash, because there's no debt, you can pay cash. How could it be? And what does he sell? Ordinary stuff. No innovation. So we say, what is he doing? Whatever. I want to know, what is he doing it? Because 40% gross margin gives me a ton of cash. So I'll give you a situation now. His sales have other things in it, by the way, now. Initially, just retailing. He's about close to 500 billion. Walmart is around close to 600. Walmart gets 130 billion in cash, 26%. He now gets 40% of 500. Take your pick. That's why the stock price is here. Ask those questions. What's new? What's different? Take the mental blocks out. Maybe I try this difficult. It's okay. Try it. So here, cash, account receivables. In COVID period, people had 250 days of receivables. I served on the board of Renew. One state had 280 days of receivables. It's a cash trap. Can you manage? And then, cycle time. Do I deliver this thing in 1 hour, 1 month, 1 day? Put all those together. It's specific. This is just very high level. And then say, what's the right combination that gives you a better return? Then you begin to see the mentality of making money. Clear? So when I do the interview for these big guys, a guy coming in for a big job, I actually give them the exercises of real data. And say, tell me how you're going to improve the margin or velocity. You find out in 10 minutes. They start talking strategy. I said, no, show me how you're going to do that. That's very humbling, by the way, for them. Make sense? That was the question there.
Yes.
But that's your framework. Every company uses the go.
Over a period of, in real estate business, so velocity is there when we are trading for our investors. But sometimes, we hold the real estate and suddenly there's an exponential growth. So how do we balance margin velocity and wealth growth?
It can be that way, but also it can be this way. That's what happened in the COVID period. So you're going to go both ways. That's separate. And then you're going to see is, what is the velocity of your capital there? My Harvard roommate, humble, Marine, he graduated. When he was with me in the MBA class, he goes to one of those resort places, buy an apartment. So he went to buying apartments and renting. Today, his portfolio is $500 million. Always managed for cash. Always managed for cash. So we got to see what you see. Okay, everybody on this question? Okay.
So I had a question, sir. So you spoke about exponential growth. So typically we have seen when we go for exponential growth, we have to sacrifice profitability.
No. I cut you off. I fire you if I said to me, this is what those guys say. I'm going to take you through how you manage that. The reason I was blunt, you allow me to do that, okay? I don't want that mentality. And I'll take you through that. This is test for the people like the Adani people when they come in. I stop them right there. I say, I don't think you're going to belong here. We don't do that. Let me take you through that. Please take this down. If this ever come in your board, you take this thing with you.
Sir?
You're going to have some kind of a revenue, right? And you're going to have a gross margin before you invest. Correct? You're going to have ongoing costs. Okay? Then you got other costs, normal one, depreciation, whatnot. Correct? By the way, in my days, the word EBITDA did not exist. Even when I was teaching at Harvard for 10 years, this word did not exist. It was always free cash flow. And it's still the right one. I met the man, CEO of Time Warner, who said the EBITDA as a word is obsolete, we have to invent a new one. And that's because of the accounting conventions. Now I come to your point. And I'm going to take you two ways. There are two ways to it. One, you invest money in capital expenditure to grow. So I have here 100 million. I'm going to invest 10 here, 20 here, 30 here, 10 here. Got to plan it now. Maybe invest in 1 year, but usually spread over. And then you say, this one begin to give you revenue here. Plot that. Let me explain this. Everybody sees this? You're not investing in 1 year. If you are, then you play the game. If not, it's a spread over. But they must deliver some revenue. Isn't it, for growth? You link it. Correct? You link that. And always, I got that from Steve Jobs, somebody is assigned to make sure those revenues come. He called that DRI, directly responsible individual. Somebody is assigned that we're going to get that revenue and margin. Can you see it now better? We're going to get this revenue and margin because we invested that. So many companies have failed because the return criteria got met, but the revenues didn't come. Everybody got it? What Jeff Bezos did in Amazon, he at one point was investing $40 billion in technology. So I correlated with a time difference of 3 years. You see his revenue going up 25%. Margin 40%. So you don't need a genius to calculate that. Now I come to the point. So I say, sir, can you get me your name again? First name. Sanjay. Sanjay, bet you know. But don't be insulted, okay? I say, Sanjay, improve this. Improve this. And I'll measure you how you deliver this. Your cash will be lower because you're using cash, but not the EBITDA on the ongoing basis. So now I'm going to hold you to the fire to tell us how you're going to improve that. We'll measure you separate for that. Now, how many of you have using software in your business? So I need to take you to the second one. Okay? Can you see that? Okay? Now have a look. What have I done? I put the word OPEX investment. I put 40 billion in technology in Amazon. Most of it is the OPEX investment. It's hard cash, by the way. And that reduces the net EBITDA. Got it? It will. And here, the same way we had it. Now, why he does that is accounting. We get tax credit. 40 billion gives him 16 billion tax credit. That's where the life is. So, first encounter, 2013, when I broke it in. So I'm sitting with the CEO of a very, very large company, and he says, Ram, Amazon is unprofitable. I say, yeah, the way they announce it. But it's the most profitable business on the planet. Uh-huh. No, you can't say that. Since he trusts me, so I take him through an hour, get their numbers, break it apart, show it. So you got to break the numbers and see what's really happening. And so what I did to your issue, you're going to do, could you put that back on, please? Yeah. Manage that EBITDA. And show me how you're going to make that investment to do that. Let the accountants do the cash. But now you got to explain to your investor that it is very profitable. It's going to create growth.
It's an investment, not a revenue item, actually. The technology investment, OPEX, is actually an investment.
It's an investment.
No way showing it on
You got it. You got to show it separate. But you got to link with the revenue and margin. And you say, we will deliver that. Everybody clear? Yeah, go. Could you give me a microphone?
Hello.
And just please say slowly so I get it. You can help me a bit.
Hello. Sir, yeah, please.
Yeah, make sure I understand. Could you help me do that?
Hello. So I'll just ask him. Sir, you spoke about retaining talent.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
my question is that when an organization is growing, specifically small organization, when they are in the journey of becoming a big organization, there are talent who has been part of your journey at the initial years. But now you want to grow your organization to the next level. So obviously you have to hire talent which may not match to your existing talent requirement. They may be pricey also. So how do we keep balance in terms of keeping the expectation of existing employee who has been part of your journey and they are in larger number?
They
And
are.
keeping it,
They are.
matching an expectation of the new one.
Very good. How many of you have problem like that? So let me spend the time then. I think this is a very good question. And I want you to follow through to make sure I give you what I know. The first part I want you to think about is to think about actually act. What I got it from Welsh, Jack Welch, is 8-quarter plan. 8-quarter plan. I'll explain that. I have to assume for our purposes, it is a calendar year as a fiscal year. Should be no problem for you guys. Okay? Easy for me to explain. So it's a January 24 to January 26. Everybody got it? And I'm doing the planning in November, December of 23. Everybody got it? Your first plan is the business plan. This revenue, this investment, this. Got it? Everybody got it? I've got to talk in English here. If not, you translate, somebody doesn't get it, okay? Now, why don't you take these notes because you're not going to find in any book. First, you take 8-quarter plan, business plan, January to January, 8 quarters. Simple plan, what's my revenue, what's my EBITDA, what's my investment, all that, which you do anyway, but go for 8 quarters. Everybody got that? Now I come to the second point. You say, at the end of the second quarter, you will have to have people who will be needed to go to the next 8 quarters. Everybody got it? Let me repeat that. I'm just repetitive. At the end of January 26, I have to have a people engine that will take me to the next 8 quarters. Clear? So you do that planning. I'm still on the business plan that in 16 quarters, my business will be that. More customers, more channels, more technology. Put that picture together. It's not just linear growth. You're going to do some things. Innovation, product, channels. Got it? Now I come to your point. I want you to think with me a concept. I did not invent it. I learned from somebody. In every organization, it's a concept, it's not exact numbers. 2% of the people have 98% of the impact. Make it 3, 4, 5. Everybody gets it? You know what I'm talking? It's not exactly 2%. It's not. But everybody got that? No. I'm going to go more detail. But I want you to see if I'm coming through to you, 2% of the people have 98% of the impact as a concept. Got it? Everybody? Make a list of those. Make a list of those. Intuitive is okay. But the fact is, this list has 98% of the impact. And you know who they are. Depends on the size of your company. So you make a list of those, correct? Now you say, these are the people I am going to devote the time that I carry them for the 28th January. Did I come out clearly? Did I come out clearly? So I have a company of 5,000 people, really, literally. So I have, for our purposes, just 100 people I must carry to be ready in January 28. I've got to evaluate each of those 100 people, how, why, what is needed for each of them. Of the 100, I come to the conclusion that these 10 won't make it. It could be 20. Now here is, I've seen CEOs do that. We're going to call them in and say, look, this is a challenge. This is what you need to improve. We're going to monitor your progress month by month for the next 6 months. You being fair? Correct? This is the coaching you need. This is the learning you need. But I'm not sending you to Harvard for $20,000, $50,000 just to be there. No, I'm not going to do that. We want to know exactly what you need to do to be ready. And we're going to put you on training or whatever. We're going to watch you monthly. Are you doing? Are you not? Are you growing? Are you not? If not, we're going to take you out. Is that fair? Is that fair? And by the way, who are doing it, I am going to evaluate their market value. I'm going to pay higher before a competitor steals them. I pay preemptively. I do.
So, sorry, sir, I'm asking you. So you are talking about those 2% people.
Correct.
Whom you will meet. Yeah.
Correct. They may change, the pool may change. You got some new ones coming in, some going out. Hang on just a second, I want to be sure. Did I come out clearly? Let me repeat. I pay preemptively. I don't want some guy coming and taking them away because they legitimately deserve a higher pay. And then he said, I'll match it. I said, no, we are fools. We should have paid ahead of time. Everybody clear? And then you say, well, what about the other people? I said, forget it. These 2% are the people you wanted. You do some things to pacify others, but no. But pay preemptively. Now, if I leave you here, my big shots will shoot me alive. It's not enough. I want to promote people preemptively. Everybody got it? I will take a risk because the outside guy is going to take only for 2 reasons. A bigger job or bigger pay. Correct? That's the only 2 reasons, unless this person is dissatisfied with you. Then he needs to go anyway. So I want to do those things preemptively. It will create jealousies, that be it. That be it. You have to figure it out with your style, but you're being honest. I put you monthly to learn this. I see no progress. Look, it's not going to work out. You're being very fair. Somebody had a hand up. Help. Please take a microphone and say it in a way that I can understand, okay? Little slowly, you help me in that. Okay? Little slowly for me. I was able to understand you clearly.
Hello.
That's helpful.
Thank you, Professor. I am Chandragupta from Mysore. I am into pharmacies.
Yeah.
I face a
Pharmacy?
retail pharmacies.
Yeah, pharmacy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, I face a problem by discounting by online players, discounting competition from online players, and also my own neighborhood. How shall I fight the competition?
But I don't know. I'm going to look at more detail here because that problem is not just yours. It's also of the competition.
Sir, we
Correct?
can take only last 2 questions, I guess. Only last 2 questions.
So
Mahendra ji.
I need to learn, but I do want to take a minute. Yeah, please note, did I say to you, read the The Economist? Did I say that to you? I think I said it. And did I say to you, weekly or monthly, talk to your people for 10 minutes? So I want to inform you, in case you did not know, the initiative has begun. There's no more talk. Pfizer in America will sell drugs directly to the patient. I guarantee you, the engine to do that exists today. I know the engine. They can put that in less than 6 months. The digital engine I'm talking, perfect, is there. Now you say,
Sir,
for Americans, not you. Walgreens, you know what I mean? CVS, you know what I mean? What should they be thinking? It's real. It's real. So that kind of a thing. But I couldn't tell you about individual company because see the industry,
Sir.
there's the same problem. Okay, somebody had a hand up.
Yeah.
Help us a bit.
So,
Louder.
I am Mahendra. सर मेरा बेसिक क्वेश्चन है कि हम ज़्यादातर लोग ट्रेडिंग कम्युनिटी से हैं, ज़्यादातर लोग ट्रेडिंग कम्युनिटी से हैं, ट्रेडिंग, एंड आवर चिल्ड्रंस आर बीन एजुकेटेड इन all over world, you can say.
Yeah, right.
How the succession which can play and safely we say that they are in good business?
See if I get the question right. I want to take the question. Could you help me a bit? Tell me the question again. Just tell me.
Sir, he wants to say he has
Trader. Got it. Yeah, correct. I get it. Yeah, I'm going to repeat that because it's a very common thing. And I've gone through at least 2 Indian billionaire families on that. I go to their house, stay in their house, and drink their booze, then everything is okay. The children are there, the wife is there, husband is there. I am in business A. I say I've got 2 kids. They've done very well outside. Just take that as a given. Education, all that. And you got to say they are bright and they want to do something. I don't mean somebody got on drugs or anything. Forget that. So the question is, how do you balance that? Okay. I think it's a very good question. Why? The first part is you, the parent in this case, have to come to terms. What is the goal? Is goal my desire? Or is the goal my children be happy when I pass away? I cannot decide that for you. I have for me. I'm not married, never did, but I have 41 kids. Joint family, I look after them. I live for them. If your goal is do my way, you're going to fight your way through. If your goal is, when I pass away, the kids say, my father let me do this. I was lucky, we couldn't afford many things. But my father said, whatever you need, and I was very selfless. Didn't want anything. I got it. However, I got it. You want to go to Banaras? Go. We'll find a way. You go to Australia, we'll pawn the jewelry, you go. We did. So, the crux to your thing is your goal. Yes. Make sense to you? And then you decide which way you go.
The education will make them decide?
No, hang on. The question was, will the education get them to decide? Not necessarily. Because the individuals mold differently. So I have one yesterday where in the education, this person hated the education. So they asked me to call somebody to get a job for him. A billionaire family. No, you got to see individuals God's gift. And take the weeds out of their way. They will always remember that. Or you use your friend to help them. They will remember the friend. You say, yeah, he helped me. He got it out.
We'll take one last question.
Excuse. Sir. Excuse me, sir. This is Sanjeev here. Sanjeev Gana from Bangalore. We have a retail jewelry store. About regarding digitalization, how we can do it in retail jewelry.
But you help me translate that. Yeah, just take me.
B2C.
He's a jeweler. So how do
Yeah, jeweler.
He's a jeweler.
Yeah, yeah.
The digitization can help.
Oh, okay. The first thing I want you to think about, how many people you have?
We have 15 members.
A small company.
Yes, small company. You want?
You're doing digitalization mentally. Just do it. You don't need to spend any money on this.
Now we have.
Do you have a factory?
No, further thing, retail we want, now new store we are opening.
No, if you only have 15 people.
Now 15, yes, we want to go it to 15.
Yeah, so before you grow it, what you need is a very simple thing. And that is you want to have a record with a picture, details of every customer. And do something for them without boring them that connect with them repeatedly 3-4 times a year. That's all you need to do. If you don't have a factory, I won't worry about it. I would keep it simple. I don't think you're ready at this stage to do digitization. By the way, I do have a client who's a jeweler, and I did the same thing with him.
Thank you.
He has 40 people.
Thank you.
I won't go. You run your own.
Everyone, in the interest of time, what I'm suggesting to just we break out for lunch for a public, but sir is available in the same hall. Whosoever has for another half an hour or so.
Let
if
me take a 5 minutes here.
Everyone, please sit down for 5 minutes. Everyone, please sit down for 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes, won't be long. I will strongly suggest to you, don't believe that you cannot overcome any hurdle. Let me repeat. Because I see this, medium-sized companies believe this is a hurdle I can't get over. No. Because they were hurdle for everybody, and they found a way to solve it. Everybody gets it? Second, do find 2, maximum 3 people as your advisors who have gone through a small business to a large business, and they will help you see things differently than you might be seeing that. You've got to do that. And remember, no nation ever got built without leaders and companies like you. You drive this nation. And a larger number of jobs come from companies like you. It's a fact. What we need to do more is to help you scale up. And we're going to do some things on this. I want to thank you. It's a great group. You are the soul of India.
My business is real estate.
I'll come later.
बहुत धन्यवाद सर जोरदार तालियों के साथ let's render a huge round of applause for him. May I please invite on stage Tejraj ji Gulecha, Ganpat Raj ji Chaudhary, Narendra ji Buldota, Rakesh ji Mehta to kindly felicitate Dr. Ram Charan on stage. Dr. Ram Charan, may I please request you to join me on stage? Delegates, lunch break केवल और केवल 1 घंटे की है. It is 1:30 right now. 2:30 आप सबसे निवेदन है आप सभी अपने अपने seats में बैठ जाइएगा. We have a very, very exciting session post lunch. First, the Mexican Wave by Glenn Pinto and team, and then we have Navjot Singh Sidhu coming in, and he is a stickler for time. So please, on time, 2:30 अपनी अपनी seats में आप आ जाइएगा. For now, thank you very, very much, Dr. Ram Charan, for your presence here at JITO Converge 2024. Tokens of our appreciation for your time and your participation.
Good. Very good. Very good. All the best. Thank you. Nice seeing you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ram Charan. Thank you so much. हम सभी आज आपके इस सत्र से enriched महसूस कर रहे हैं. There's so much of takeaways, so much of learning, and so many valuable insights you've shared with us, so many tips, such precious guidance. Thank you very, very much.